Hi everyone, thank you for watching my channel. So I'm going to begin by talking about the purpose of this channel, and that is to show you how I do readings. Each time I produce a video, we're going to look at a question related to a scenario, and the scenario is going to be found in the description of the videos that I present. So, yeah. We're going to span across all different aspects of a person's life and the kind of problems people feel in real life. Now, the scenarios that I'm going through are simulated, they're not real. They'll feel real, but they're simply there to give a demonstration of the kind of readings I do. Now, yeah, if you ever would like a reading yourself, feel free to get in touch with me via my details in the description as well. Um, all right, so let's begin. So this case is called My Sister's Debt, and the story goes something like this. My sister borrowed $5,000 from me 6 months ago and keeps avoiding the topic when I bring it up. I have been carrying this heavy knot in my chest ever since I handed my sister that $5,000, and now the silence between us feels louder than the debt itself. Every time I try to bridge the subject, she pivots or shuts down, leaving me stuck in a cycle of resentment and guilt. I am desperate to recover my savings, but I'm terrified that pushing too hard will shatter our bond for good. I need the cards to show me if there is a path where I can stand my ground without losing my sister in the process. So, let's begin. Oh, I should probably say, what's the question? The question is, how can I bring up the money in a way that protects our relationship? So, the spread I'm going to look at is a general overview of the relationship right now, what the strengths and challenges of the relationship as it stands, and what is required to preserve the relationship if money is going to become the topic. Okay. All right. So, the current overview of the relationship. Now, what we have here is the lovers card, and the lovers typically signify a strong connection between the two. Now, contrary to popular belief, the lovers don't often symbolize romantic love. Certainly would be extremely awkward since they are sisters after all. This card in this context symbolizes that they are sisters. You and your sister have a very strong connection to each other, and above all, you do value communication, both of you, but it's also that sore point between the two of you. Neither of you want to break the relationship, and that much can be said for both of you. However, where you might want to bring up the topic in a way to preserve the relationship while also preserving your money, it's likely that she is avoiding the topic because she fears that it might break your relationship. So both of you are coming at have the same priority, but coming at it from a different angle, if that makes sense. So let's look at the key strength of your relationship. We have the Magician card, and the Magician, some might say he's a manipulator. Some might say he's just someone who's gifted with the elements. Um, the strength of your relationship, according to the magician, is that you are adaptable. Your relationship is dynamic and versatile and creative. Both of you work hard at preserving it. You've been through knocks, but you've also come out strong. Both of you are clever, and there's a strong theme that in the magician overseeing a relationship that the two of you will overcome all things, and you have in the past, which is why there's this sense of resilience in your relationship. So this is actually a really good card to have in this context. So let's look at the key challenges of your relationship. Six of Wands. We see a person atop a horse carrying a flag symbolizing that of victory. A crowd goes wild as they march to the finish line. And this card typically symbolizes victory, the act of victory. There seems to be an element or a dynamic in your relationship where someone must win. And whether this is something that stems from childhood, but it seems that you as siblings need to actually one up each other or feel like the victor. And this might be something that is getting in the way of your relationship. I suspect that your sister has gone through a bit of strife, and she doesn't want to talk about it because she fears that you might go into the "I told you so" mode, and you might judge her to be a loser, not just because she lost the money, but possibly because of the way she lost it. Neither of you like losing. Both of you are very competitive, and the loaning of the money, the $5,000, and its potential loss might signify her sense of defeat. So she fears actually talking to you about it because she fears that judgment from you. So this rivalry is a big challenge for your relationship and broaching serious topics like this. Yeah. So what does this relationship require in order to heal and recover? Okay. Our main character here is resting, or dead, but I suspect it's resting. The Four of Swords typically is a card of rest and rejuvenation. You've had your battles. You might have emerged victorious at some point, and she might have emerged victorious at other points. But now it's time to put the swords down. In order for you to recover and heal, in order for your relationship to actually function properly, you might have to give up this sense that, only one person may win while the other must therefore lose. Seek the win-win options. Perhaps let go of any judgment you might have, including potentially telling her that you no longer care how she lost it or where she lost it. All you care about is whether she's okay, whether she needs any help, and put the judgment aside on how she might have lost the money. I think she fears that the most. So this card is all about laying the swords down and perhaps taking a break from the conflict. Now, what does that mean from a day-to-day? If she fears that she's being judged by yourself, what this card might suggest is that how do you create a space where what do you say that makes her feel that she won't be judged if you ask about the money? What other things you do? Maybe it's about forgetting about the money right now and then focusing on other aspects that bring you together, and she might just come out and tell you on her own. So, what's the future possibility of this relationship, given that money is an issue? Not a fantastic card. This is the devil. And here we see a couple chained together, where the devil watches over them. silently. This card symbolizes entrapment, bondage. This is this a positive card? It can be. It can be a fatal warning. What I think this card can signify is that one of the possibilities of your relationship moving forward is the two of you are chained in the debt together. That no matter what strife both of you go through it together. So in some ways, your relationship is preserved. Um, the other aspect is that the devil calls upon you to look at the practical aspects. The money is important, there's no doubt about that. But is it going to be a deal breaker if you don't see the money right now? What can preserve the relationship? Do you need the money now in order to move forward? And if not, perhaps it's time to focus on the bigger picture. It might be that you are the one that's fixated on the money, and your focus on the money is perhaps getting in the way of you actually prioritizing your relationship. Perhaps the money will come from time to time, and perhaps it's lost for good. The question for you is whether you value your relationship enough to let the money go, or do you value more the idea of being right and her being wrong, or her being the one who's lost it. So these are the things that the cards are telling me, but let's do a recap. So on the whole, the question is, how can I bring up the money in a way that protects our relationship? So the first question with the first card shows us the lovers. The two of you care deeply about each other, and do actually, above all things, do care enough to actually talk through any issues. So that's not really the issue here. Both of you generally communicate quite easily. One of the key strengths of your relationship is when your minds work together, you overcome more obstacles. Your relationship has suffered knocks, but all the two of you put together have always come out stronger. One of the challenges of your relationship is you have a kind of a rivalry thing going on. The so-called sibling rivalry, where one of you must win while the other must not. And this sometimes can get in the way of your communicating with each other. Because if your sister has lost spectacularly and is feeling the loss quite acutely, she might be reluctant to tell you because she fears the judgment that comes from you. So, what does your relationship require? The first aspect, and probably the only aspect, is to let go of this need for victory, this need to be right or wrong. In order for your communication to recover, the strength of your relationship to return, you need to let go of the issue of the money for now. This is not a permanent rest. This is simply a temporary rest. Let go of it for now in order to move forward. If the relationship truly is a priority, the money should not come first. So let go of it for now and focus on creating a relationship with your sister that exists without judgment. And that might be things you tell her. That might be things that you can show her by yourself showing your vulnerability. Okay? Finally, what is the future possibility of your relationship? The devil is a card that talks about material attachments that kind of drag us down and hold us from actually attaining higher levels of our spirituality, our emotional connections. And in this context, I think this card is telling you that this attachment to the $5,000 owing is causing you strife more for you than you realize. The fact that it bugs you, and that the fact that it's obscuring your ability to connect more deeply, might be the issue for you, not necessarily your sister. So while your sister might indeed owe you the money and indeed must pay you back, what is potentially sabotaging your relationship is your focus on the money as the barrier. Is the money really the barrier? If the money isn't the priority and you don't really need it right now, perhaps you can afford to let it go while you focus on other aspects of your relationship and building this relationship of communication and trust. So that's how I answer this question. My next reading will look at why there is so much resistance and silence surrounding this debt. So we're going to jump into the mind of the sister and try and figure out what's going on. So thank you for so much for watching this. If you like it and you want to see more, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you see something different in this reading, please share it in the comments because I'm always open for learning. Thank you very much and have a wonderful night.